Hey there, potential parents of possibly transgendered kids. Did you know that with modern MRI scans and general examination of the brain, scientists have actually been able to differentiate between male and female brains, between being able to see different electrical activity on the brain using MRI scan when presented with different stimuli, to actual physical differences in the male and in the female brain. So, some theorize that these hardwiring differences happen when chemicals and hormones kick in while the fetus is still developing. It makes you think, what if somehow either a hormone or a chemical didn't switch on right? Or something happened and a baby girl happened to be born with a baby boy's brain, or with a male brain, or a baby boy happened to be born with a girl's brain. Well, a good friend of mine in college happens to be a boy with a girl's body. He has a boy's brain and he's in a girl's body. And I asked him some questions and I thought I'd share some of these answers with you. A little bit of background. My buddy is still kind of early in his coming out, and he's not out to his folks. He's not had any hormone treatments or any surgery, but he's still quite a handsome young man, and he can pass as a guy. Passing means people don't question him, really. If you walk down the street and you saw him, you'd say, "Oh, who's the dude?" So here are the questions that I asked him. If you knew ahead of time that your mom would not be shocked or have any negative feelings about you being a man rather than a girl, what would you say? His reply: if I knew my mom wouldn't be shocked, mad, hurt, I would be thrilled. Unfortunately, I know there is no way this could not hurt her. Not that she doesn't love me or want me to be happy, it's because she will almost have to go through the stages of death and grieving. Even if deep down inside she knows I'm not a girl, she will still have to overcome the loss of a daughter, but in the end she will gain a son. I will still be the same person. I feel like she's trying in a way to make the first step, because she watches television shows about transgender people and asks questions about gender in general. I've been the one who has been stubborn and not letting her know because, like most sons, I don't want to hurt my mom like that. The person in my life that I really will have a hard time with is my dad, and I could write a book about that. Ben's cool, or my friend is cool. How would you explain how you felt growing up? And his reply: growing up, I wished I was a boy. I know my mom once told me that when I was very young. I told her, "Mommy, I don't like being a girl, I want to be a boy." As a child, not knowing much about the issue, I kept to myself and would pretend to be a boy, would pretend to be the boy characters in all the games, like he would be Robin Hood in some of their little make-believe games. I just figured that all girls felt the same way I did. They just didn't like being girls, but they dealt with it and moved on with their life. I don't know when it hit me that it was not how everyone else felt, but it hit me hard, and I tried to do everything I could to cover up and pretend to be a female. Now that I'm older, I've learned to tolerate things. Yeah, I may not pass as male, but someday I'll change, and I should enjoy life because I know who I am. How do you describe being a young man in the body of a woman? And his answer: being a man in the body of a woman really only affects me when it comes to doing the natural things, the natural dude things, like using the bathroom and things like that. The other thing is a female cycle. That is horrible. But other than that, I try not, which at times can be hard, to notice what I don't have, because I'll just sit around and be miserable. I just hurry up and put on my clothes and say, "Damn, I look like a nice, punked out young man today." Go on to ask, What do you think about being called a lesbian when in reality you're a heterosexual man? His reply, I get mad about being called that, and it has nothing to do with my situation. It makes me mad because they're using homosexuality as an insult and something to be ashamed of, and two, I don't like being insulted. Now, if it's said in a non-insulting way and it's just a mistake, then I correct them and explain the difference between the two. And then last but not least, the all-important question. What advice would you give to parents who think their kid might be transgendered? And his reply, the advice I would give to a parent, and this really is the advice for every topic on the planet, is always make sure your kid feels like they can talk to you about anything and not be judged. I think the worst thing in the world, no matter what you're feeling and going through, is not being able to talk to your parent. I'm almost 23 and I feel like I can't talk to my dad about anything, and it feels awful. These are the words of my friend who's a transgendered man. Because I don't have any of those personal experiences myself because I'm a lesbian. I mean, I'm a very masculine lesbian, but I don't know the personal experience of being a trans man, so thank you, buddy, for allowing me to share this with the YouTubes, and I really hope that this helps. And if you're a parent out there who's questioning if their kid might be transgendered, again, PFLAG is a great resource. They do have information about it. And like my buddy said, and like I always say, be open to talking, don't be judgmental, and remember, it's your kid and you love them, right? Peace out.